Welcome to a podcast for nerds, the show where two dudes that met as kids discuss our journey with all things nerdy as well as life, as we are now definitively both in our 30s. I'm Dakota.
And I am Codizzle.
Codizzle.
Throwback.
Oh man, I didn't realize we were going that way. I didn't get a cool nickname.
You didn't get one in Michael's?
I think you tried to make me Redneck, but it didn't work.
Oh, wow, I forgot about that. I think was that at Michael's or was that
was Michael's.
like parkour days?
I think I wanted to be Redneck, but then I was like, no, I want to be hippie in the parkour days.
Yeah,
wanted to be
for
the
sure.
hippie.
For sure. Guys, yeah, we're both 30 now. I might have been 30 already when we did the last one.
I think we
I
were,
don't remember.
but I just wanted to say something because it's our first official episode of 2023.
Yeah, so we did the first episode, right?
Yeah.
And then we disappeared forever. And there's a couple reasons for that. Holidays and things happening. I honestly think we jumped the gun a little bit, thinking let's do the first episode right before the holidays.
Yeah.
Looking back, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
And
Just like my vision.
But I mean, another reason is we have had the most incredible audio issues.
It's insane.
We just spent
Maybe you've heard it in the last episode.
Yeah, and if you watch the pre-season 1 episodes or whatever, there were audio issues there too.
Absolutely.
It's been insane. And then today, we thought everything's good. I did some testing beforehand, and so you can see we're both on not Elgato, sorry, Blue Yetis.
Blue Yeti.
Now, I'm trying to move away from Blue Yetis. I like the Elgato Wave a lot more, but we only have one, and we want to make sure we're using the same mic. We think that helps a lot with the echo.
Yeah.
But there was this crazy high pitched sound.
Oh my god.
That was happening. We could not figure it out. Finally,
It was this thing.
Yeah. So that's like what would you call that?
Like a USB.
A hub.
Like a power jack for USBs.
Well, it's a USB hub, right?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's power,
You know
but
the
it's also
tech lingo.
data. Yeah.
You know the tech lingo better than me.
Well, when I bought it, I just looked up hub. I think it says hub.
Is that the hub you were looking up, Cody?
It says hub on it.
Are we sure that was the hub?
That's the one.
And you were like, oh, I guess I need this too.
But we used that for every episode, and there was never this high-pitched sound, and suddenly we tried everything. And finally, when we removed that thing from the equation...
Like, when he says we tried everything, we tried lights, we tried the TV. The only thing I don't think we tried was I considered maybe the fans on the computer over there.
I couldn't imagine. But yeah,
was
we were getting close to that.
Yeah, and finally it turned out to be this little guy right here.
Which is super unfortunate because that thing is really useful. Now we got a bunch of but I mean, at least it reaches.
Maybe if you get a new one, maybe it's because you use this one as your daily. Maybe if you get one that's like...
I've only had that since like a couple months. Like when we started doing this.
Well, maybe we used this one you continue to use as your daily, but then we use the other one just for that one, so it doesn't get continual use.
It's possible. Another thing to mention is, yeah, I don't have an arm thing, so I'm gonna be a little hunchbacked maybe through this episode. But we're trying to keep the mics close. But anyway, that's our little update on tech time. It seems like every time we have here's our issues.
Yeah.
Of this time, but we're back. We want to be much more consistent.
You know, this is the same channel as Nakamacast, and I don't remember there being this many audio issues, but I think that's only because we didn't care.
I was going to say, we didn't go watch those videos.
They sound horrible.
The peaking was absolutely insane. And
it's so bad.
I should mention, I think the only possible issue this time could be peaking. This mic had been peaking a lot in testing, but we thought we got it right.
Yeah, so...
Just bear with us, guys. Someday, everyone will look back and say, remember all those issues?
Someday my prince will come. I sang that so...
Beautifully.
No, well, maybe.
Beautifully.
Well, thank you, but that's not... I wasn't singing a real song. I combined Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Someday My Prince Will Come.
I don't even know Someday My Prince Will Come.
I think that's Snow White. Yeah, it's Someday My Prince Will Come.
We really are not trying to get demonetized.
We got 10 seconds, right?
I don't know anymore with YouTube. Actually, we also don't even get monetized to begin with.
So what does it matter?
Someday this will be retroactively monetized.
Yeah, we got to set up that Patreon at some point too.
We talked about doing a Patreon, but I don't want to look at anything like that until we make sure all our issues are worked out, everything is going good.
I agree.
I wouldn't pay for this right now, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. And
Okay.
I'm working on bits for myself to do as like segments to put into the show.
Really?
And well, I say working. I've got ideas, but
Mm.
it's a matter of we gotta ABC needs to happen for me
Mm.
to get that going. But
Right, we got a lot of thoughts about the show and where the show will go and what we want to do with it. We're in a new year. We're both living in a new decade for ourselves personally.
yes, that's true.
And
You're right.
yeah,
I was
we
like, we
got
did that 3 years ago. No,
yeah, we got a lot of plans. So, Dakota, what are we talking about today?
I don't know. It's been over a month since we've met. So
For sure, we've had Christmas, we've had New Year's. How was your Christmas?
it was pretty good. Ended on a dramatic note, but we won't talk about that. But so,
Oh,
uh,
do I know about that?
I
No.
I don't remember if I told you about this.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to. I have no idea what you're talking about, but we
Nah.
don't need to talk about it.
But no, it actually my New Year's ended on a dramatic note too.
Oh,
So,
both.
Yeah, New Year's it was just family drama.
Like always,
Yeah,
every New Year.
every
you
New
know.
Year's always something. But Christmas was some roommate issues, but it all worked out.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's rough.
but other than that, had a good Christmas. Ariel got me the Bleach 4 movie Blu-ray collection. That was
Sick.
pretty cool.
Did you watch them?
Not yet.
Mm.
I haven't really been watching any anime lately. I've fallen behind.
Wow, you fell off.
Actually, I take that back. Me and Ariel, we finished Dragon Ball Super all the way up through the Broly movie.
And what you think?
She liked it a lot. She liked Super as a whole, and she was not looking for. She doesn't like tournament arcs. Like she's.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to.
Her and I have had many a debate,
Let me center myself on that really quick. I did not expect to hear you say that.
but she really
doesn't
liked
like
the Tournament of Power.
universally most loved part of most every anime.
Well, she prefers a story. She doesn't like if it's gonna be a tournament arc. She wants it to have some kind of story like the Tournament of Power does. It's got there's.
You know what? I completely agree. That's why I liked Dragon Ball's tournaments, the original Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
There was stuff going on behind the scenes, and the best tournament arc ever made, IMO, Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. A lot going on behind the scenes in that
I
tournament.
think we might watch Yu Yu Hakusho after we finish all of Dragon Ball.
So you're gonna go back to GT now, or Dragon Ball?
Well,
You're starting with
see,
Z, right?
Our original plan was to go, and still is, once we finished all the way up through Broly, and then whenever the Blu-ray for Superhero comes out, I'm gonna show her that. But once we got that, we were gonna go back and watch Dragon Ball, and then all the movies. Oops, sorry. And after that, we were just gonna finish it with GT.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I don't have Dragon Ball on DVD yet. I want to watch them on the DVD collections that I've been watching.
Oh, okay.
So I could easily just watch it, but I want to watch it how we were watching it. I want to put on the Toonami music possibly.
For sure. I want the. Wait.
With Dragon
No.
Ball, I want to try it. I don't want to see. I want to go back and forth.
Actually, I would definitely make the argument that Dragon Ball, the Japanese music, is much more fitting.
I think you're right, but I want to try it. I want to see. So I
don't
want to
know
get
if there is a Bruce Faulkner version of for
really?
Dragon Ball.
Well, we'll have to check because I'm gonna get those DVDs.
Okay.
But I don't have them yet because I'm going to get them as they go, and I just don't have them yet because funds are limited and Christmas is a pain in the butt. So, but I do have GT. And I was like, I said, do you want to watch GT? And she's like, okay, we can watch it. And then I literally woke up in the middle of the night, and the thought ran through my head, oh my God, GT begins with Goku turning into a kid. Oh, no.
Why? Why
don't-
don't know?
Because I don't like that element.
I love it.
I know you do, but I'm in the majority where
Right.
I don't like it. I do not like Goku turning back into a kid.
I love Kid Goku.
I like
GT.
Kid Goku in Dragon Ball.
I like him in GT also. I love seeing him Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 3 when he fights Legic. It's so cool.
The most hype moments for me with Goku all involve when he turns back into an adult during Super Saiyan 4.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But I would make the argument that, like, look, I'm a GT
Apologist.
apologist.
I am
sure.
too.
I love Dragon Ball GT, and I like it more than Super. and that might be
Hot take.
nostalgia. Oh, it's definitely a hot take. It might be nostalgia talking, but
Well, I think the thing about GT is Dragon Ball or Super is, I think, it it gets good and then it kind of plateaus and it kind of just stays at a consistency in my opinion. It kind of ups and downs, but I think it more or less it kept me when I first watched it. It kept me wanting to watch it. Like every episode, I watched very fast, and that's how it was when Ariel and I were watching it. I mean, we were both just like, all right, the next one. Like, okay, you want to watch one more, and we'd watch like 5 episodes in one sitting. We just how that worked. With GT, it has awesome moments, but they're interspersed between a lot of bullcrap.
it's only 64 episodes, man.
That's why it's even worse.
But think of how much happens in those 64 episodes. How much bullcrap. What?
The Boom Para Para brothers.
That's just legendary.
You can't defend the Boom Para Para
You
brothers.
might think it's hilarious when you watch it this time. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while.
I know my wife, and I know when she gets to the Para Para brothers, she's gonna look at me and she's gonna go, "What am I watching?"
Can we at least agree on a couple things?
Well, sure.
GT has the best opening of any Dragon Ball.
Debatable, because I really liked Dragon Soul. I think it's my favorite, but I think a close second to me is the GT's opening.
GT's Japanese opening, which I didn't know it until we started buying the box sets when I was in high school. Because do you know GT's opening from Toonami back in the day?
Yeah, step into the Grand
Yeah.
Tour, Grand Tour.
That's not what I mean for sure. But I
Yeah.
thought that was sick though when I was younger.
Well, sure you did, because everybody thought
the Grand Tour, baby.
And you were like way into rap and stuff at that point.
Well,
Not
actually,
that you are now.
I don't know if you know this, but I hated GT when it first came out. I was like, Super Saiyan 4, stupid. It's all stupid. Like, it ended with Dragon Ball Z. This is how dumb of like a kid I was. I'm like, Super Saiyan 4 is dumb because he's red. Because I would Google, every Dragon Ball fan who was my age at that time would go on Google and look up like Super Saiyan 10, see how tall the hair was.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I mean? I just kept thinking the hair is going to get taller. And it didn't. And so I was like, this is dumb.
It didn't get. He just turned into a monkey.
Yeah, like, this is stupid. But the other thing I would say is Super Saiyan 4. Okay, you don't have to agree with me, but Super Saiyan 4 is 100 times better than any Super Saiyan God transformation. It's better than Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct's dope, but the design of Super Saiyan 4 is sick. The idea behind it of the great ape, like
they had a lot going. That's one of the good elements of GT. Is that they
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, sick. And honestly, I would just argue that Baby Arc in general, fantastic arc. I think Super 17 is really rushed, and I think the final arc with the Dark Dragons, the Black Dragon arc, I think it is boring. I think there's some highs. Yeah, they really drag it out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you say there's only 64 episodes. You can cut like 20 episodes from that show.
Yeah, half of that 64 episodes is that last arc. And
the thing about it is it's not like with Dragon Ball Z or Super or all those where you can look and say, oh, I can skip the first 25 episodes of Super and just watch the 2 movies that are better, and better done, in my opinion.
I totally agree.
Or I completely lost my point. What were we saying?
You were saying it was dragged out?
Yeah. You can't do that in GT. It's all technically canon to its own story.
Gotta say, though, times 10 Kamehameha, red Kamehameha.
They don't do that in the anime,
sick.
though. They only do that in the games. Because
No,
I was looking, because
it is red in the anime.
I'll have to watch it because I remember.
It's Super 17 Saga is when he does it.
Okay, because I couldn't remember because I remember waiting for it, and then when he does it, I remember it just being a blue Kamehameha, and I was ready for red, like in in the game.
He does do the blue one, but he does the times 10 in Super 17.
Okay, I'll have to watch that.
And another thing I think is dope, Majin Buu and Oob. Majub is sick. But I think the final thing I want to say about GT, why I'm an apologist, is because I think GT's ending is gold.
It does have a very, very good ending, especially if you consider the Goku Jr. movie.
Yeah. The ending to GT feels like a real ending, and then the Goku Jr. movie feels like it's just a cool extra thing.
And with the way things are now, depending on where they go, you could still kind of see the Goku Jr. movie as a definitive ending to the story, because Pan is still a character.
Yeah, I don't
And
think the Goku Junior movie is suddenly like impossible because of Super, but I am sad that the GT ending is not the real ending because like Goku, like the Dragon Balls go into him,
he
and I don't know,
fuses.
it's really a cool ending. I think.
He fuses with the dragon, becomes one with the dragon, and he says, "You know what, Shenron? I don't think I've ever been more tired."
Does he say that?
Yeah,
Oh, I
he's laying
forget.
on. You know what, Shenron? I don't think I've ever been more tired.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know, but so I guess I hope that it works out for you guys because watching GT, I think it will feel like an ending when you get there. It would be
Yeah,
better to end with
yeah.
that.
That's yeah. I didn't think about it like that. Actually, that's a good point. So yeah, I think we should end it with obviously the Goku Junior movie,
Oh yeah, of course.
and that's where we'll be.
Part of me is kind of salty that we got Super at all and we didn't get like Goku Junior and Vegeta Junior story, like a show with them. I just want to know what's going on. What's up with that?
You want to know
You know
what my favorite thing about Goku Junior is?
what?
He wears a red bandana,
Yeah, it's sick, dude.
just like my boy Bardock.
It's so cool. Back before they ruined Bardock in Super.
Uh, you know what? You haven't seen what I've seen in the manga.
Okay, all right.
Bardock's awesome.
I feel like I used to love all the stuff they do with Dragon Ball, and then at some point I became that guy who's like, no, I don't want him to do any of this. I don't need Bardock going Super Saiyan. I don't need any of this stuff.
It's not that
Well, I
they
mean, but he
just.
did though.
Oh yeah, but you know me. I'm a Bardock fanboy. I was all even though that's not canon at all. I'm there for it.
Right.
I made an AMV back in the day and used these clips of that in it.
I mean, I love Bardock. I love his movie. It was my favorite movie for a while.
Mhm.
Favorite Dragon Ball movie. I mean.
Yeah.
But okay, so what else is going on? We were talking about Christmas.
Yeah,
We don't even
just
talk
went
about
on
Dragon Ball the whole time.
I'm trying to think. I got a lot of I like every year. You know, I get a lot of stuff for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Blessed. Hashtag blessed.
yeah, because my grandma still makes I'm 30 years old and she still has us all make a Christmas list for her, and my mom does the same.
That's
So-
fun.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I tell my mom every year, "Do you want me to send you a Christmas list this year?" And every year she says yes, and I'm gonna keep sending her a list until she says, "Don't send me a list anymore."
Are you guys on Amazon doing it, or because our family has all transitioned over to Amazon wish list, and we just send it and
It's a little bit of this year. I sent a Barnes and Noble wish list
oh cool
and a Lego wish list. I was like,
Oh.
these are the things I want.
okay
And yeah, okay, I got a bunch of books for Christmas from that like leather-bound collection that I've been getting
mm-hmm.
that I plan to read. I got Kill a Mockingbird, Journey to the Center of the Earth, the original Peter Pan.
Did you like To Kill a Mockingbird when we were in school?
I remember liking it, but I don't remember appreciating it, and I want to read it to appreciate it now.
I remember the only book that I liked when we read books in school was Lord of the Flies.
See, I didn't like Lord of the Flies.
Really?
I liked Animal Farm.
I don't remember reading that.
I think it was a teacher thing. They either would teach you
Oh.
Lord of the Flies or Animal Farm, and I got to do both because I failed classes.
That's funny. I don't know anything about Animal Farm.
I remember not liking Lord of the Flies. I found the plot to be confusing. I didn't know what was going on. I found it boring. But I think I was talking to Mr. Pardue, or I don't, you remember him.
I didn't have him,
But you
yeah.
remember him. I'm
Mhm.
friends with him on Facebook. I got Divine Comedy, you know, in Dante's Inferno.
Oh, I've never read it.
But I got that for thing, and I was showing him all my books because I knew he would be the only one to appreciate my classic
Oh,
lit
yeah.
collection.
Mm-hmm.
And oh crap! Again, I lost my point.
Lord of Flies.
Oh, he and I were discussing. He says that he hates that they force great books on you in school because like myself, like I said, I liked To Kill a Mockingbird, but I don't remember appreciating it. And I know that's a book with its story. It's one you need to appreciate.
Yeah, it's one I need to read again because I
That's-
definitely didn't appreciate it. in
See, that's
school.
how I feel. I want to read it and like get a better understanding of what's going, especially in today's, with everything going on in
Mm.
today's society. It's still super relevant,
Mhm.
the subject. So I'd like to do that. And then I had already bought myself the Robin Hood
Uh-huh.
leatherbound book, and then my mom, I forgot to take it off my wish list. And my
Dang.
mom bought me that one, and I was up front and I said, "Hey, mom, I already have this one. Just letting you know." And she said, "Okay, that's fine." And I went and I exchanged it for Winnie the Pooh.
Really?
Yeah, the leather-bound entire Winnie the Pooh collection.
That's cool.
You want
Well-
to talk about some wholesome works? There's a whole chapter dedicated to Pooh and Piglet walking around a tree following their own footprints.
Oh my god.
It's about 10 pages of them just confused.
Before we move on from Lord of the Flies, I did just want to say, like, I liked it because of the adventure when I was in school.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't appreciate it. I reread it last year
Did you?
with a student that I'm teaching. They
Okay.
wanted to read like some books in English together.
Okay.
So they can like work on English, and
That's cool.
rereading it, I totally don't understand why they have high school students read it at all.
It's like super adult.
Not just the story, yeah, is pretty adult, but yeah, like the meaning behind everything that's happening that you will never understand.
Yeah,
as a
that's what I
kid.
mean. Deep. Like,
Yeah, the deep side, like you would never get it. And when I reread it, I was like, I appreciate this on a whole different level than when
mm,
I was a kid. But beyond that, why do they have like middle school, high school students read like this literature that uses words that are not colloquial English at all? Like
Mhm.
literally, the book is written with so many words that I'm like, I gotta stop and Google it. I'm a native speaker who loves to read. And there's so many words that I'm like, bro, I don't know what that means. Hold on, I gotta figure that out.
I've
It's-
had to do that.
Yeah, for like middle school or high school students, like it'd be so hard to get into,
And-
especially back then when we couldn't just Google. We could, but it wasn't as normal for us to just Google words.
And I was never. I have ADD, and I'm not a great reader. Never was in high school. They force a book on me that I have to do for homework that I'm already not interested in.
Yeah, it was frustrating too because I love to read, but I was a slow reader.
Same.
And they'll give you like, you got to read this many pages by this day, and I'm like, that's not
gotta
gonna
read-
happen.
You got to read 19 pages tonight. 19 pages? Are you?
I mean, that's easy now that I'm an adult, but when
I
I
mean,
was,
yeah,
I was a really slow reader back
It's still
then.
today. It would still probably take me like 40 minutes to get through that, but
Right.
I still read slow. But yeah. Like, so that's one I'd like to get to. Lord of the Flies. And so you said you never read Animal Farm.
I know nothing about it. I've heard the name. It's famous, but I don't know anything about
So
it.
Animal Farm it's about a farm of animals, but
Okay.
it mirrors the rise and fall of the Soviet Union.
Really?
Yeah. It's about the farmer who is the czar,
Uh-huh.
who he keeps all the food for himself and treats all the worker animals as like peasants and lower class, and they don't get much food. Well, one day the animals revolt and kick the farmer out, just like
Mhm.
the Russian people revolted and kicked the czar out.
Hmm.
And then one guy rises to power and teaches the way to go, but then he dies. Then two other people come up, and and that one is Snowball the pig and Napoleon the pig, mirroring Trotsky and Stalin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Napoleon kicks out Snowball, just like Stalin kicked out Trotsky, and you never hear from him again. And then it turns into the Stalinistic regime, but it's a Napoleon regime.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I'd like to read it.
it's a really cool book, and I love Soviet Union history and stuff like that.
Will there be a sequel about Putin when all this is done?
Maybe, I don't know. Find out next time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. I'm actually really happy to hear that you've been getting more into reading.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were younger, I always wanted Dakota to get into more reading, just because. I know as well you do a lot of listening as well,
Mhm.
but whatever way you consume a novel, I don't care.
Yeah,
It's just like back in the day, I knew there were so many books, and I'm like, Dakota would love this stuff, but you really were not into reading back then.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, I'm super glad as we get older to see you dipping your toes more and more into,
I'm really into the classic lit right now.
which is so interesting to me because I'm not even really into
I
it.
don't know, something about I was like, I'm gonna read these classic stories have been around for ages, and I've seen all the movies and all the different things. Like, how many versions of Peter Pan have you seen? You know,
Right.
I want to read the original one.
For sure. I mean, I get it. I want to get into it too at some point.
Mm.
It's just I get too caught up in horror and fantasy and mystery
I don't
stuff.
blame you. I could let you borrow Peter Pan. It's like this big.
You could, but later. I'm stuck on other stuff right now.
That's
I
fine.
wouldn't. I would just set it to the side right now.
That's fine.
Yeah, but
not even done with
someday, I'm legitimately interested.
That's fine.
But, what did you think of? Speaking of like, you know, things that have been made. What's the word I'm looking for? Adaptations.
Yeah.
What did you think of The Last of Us? You watched the
I
first
haven't
episode?
watched it yet.
Are you serious?
Mm-mm.
Man, it's good. It is good, dude. At least the first episode is. You planning to watch it?
We'll probably watch it. We are in the hot smack dab in the middle of The Boys.
Oh, everyone talks about that show.
We finally started that because we finished Dragon Ball, and I
Mhm.
don't have. Well, we finished Super, and I don't have the original Dragon Ball. And my wife said, "Well, do you want to take a break on Dragon Ball? And how about we can start The Boys?" We started The Boys last Friday. It has 3 seasons. We have 3 episodes to go.
To finish it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't call that smack dab in the middle. I just smack dab at the end.
yeah. It's
Wow. You really like it?
It's incredibly good. I like it very much.
I feel like it's one of those shows that I'm going to watch someday. I just don't know when.
You'll like it whenever you do.
Yeah.
It's incredibly violent. It will make you. It's kind of left leaning with its writing,
Okay.
but in a good way.
Mhm.
Like not in a in your face like this is how you have to think. It's just
It's there.
it's there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I care. I lean in the middle,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah, I mean, I agree when it comes to like political things and media. As long as it doesn't push anything on any side too hard at me,
no, they
'cause it
actually
just gets annoying. Even if I agree with the stuff, I'm like, can I just see the story though?
they actually poke fun at stuff like that. Like there's
Oh.
they go to a Disney World type thing called Vaughtland because that's the big company that runs Super. And because Disney has been trying to be very quote unquote woke lately, because
Are they?
and they're doing it in like a very look how woke we are, aren't we woke? kinda
Forget
thing.
about everything Walt Disney believed back in
Yeah.
the day.
And even though they don't, we won't get into that, but they poke fun at that where they go to the Disneyland and it's just woke material everywhere.
Is it really? Or no, not really.
In
Not
the
in real
show,
life. In
in
the
the
show.
show, yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay.
just making fun of how see, look how inclusive we're trying to be. Please keep buying our stuff. We're so inclusive.
Mm,
It's fake. A lot of it's
Right.
fake. So,
Right.
and they just poke fun at stuff like that, which is refreshing.
will Disney and Nintendo ever team up to do something?
Well, they did on Nintendo.
Yeah.
They
it
used
seems
to.
like it should happen.
They used to.
You know? They used to?
Well, I guess it was more Capcom, Disney and Capcom.
What did they do?
They had those old Super Nintendo games, or and SNES or NES games.
Oh, you're right.
They had the Darkwing Duck game, the DuckTales game.
But I mean like a Kingdom Hearts type of thing. Can we get Mario and Mickey together?
That would be. The closest we've gotten is Epic Mickey on the Wii.
I know.
I just bought Epic Mickey 2 for PS3.
I don't like to think about Epic Mickey. I like Epic Mickey 2 a lot better. The controls are way more refined. It's a lot easier to play.
I was so excited for Epic Mickey when it came out.
Me too.
And I was like, yes, a game where I can play as Mickey Mouse. It's got a unique control scheme where you got to
And
use paint and thinner.
It was cool. It was
know,
dark.
and
The
it's
concept art was
platformy.
so sick.
A lot of little Disney references if you're a big Disney fan, including Oswald the Lucky Rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
who is much more of a main in the second one, I know.
Right.
And but yeah, the problem is that camera. It's got the same. It's got similar camera to Mario Galaxy, where it's fixed.
But way worse.
Oh my God, you can't navigate it. It was a game where you needed to be able to control the camera.
It was terrible. Apparently, I could be wrong about this, but I've heard some YouTube video or something that the Japanese version fixed the camera, or maybe didn't fix it perfectly, but made it better.
Okay.
And they say that if you're gonna play Epic Mickey now, you should download if you want to play it the best you can. I'm
Yeah.
not saying to do this, but is to pirate a ROM of the Japanese version and then patch it to have English text.
Okay.
So you're playing the Japanese version just patched with English.
Okay.
But I haven't tried it. I have no idea what it's like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a huge disappointment. I remember Epic Mickey was one of those games. I'm sure you've experienced this with plenty of media and things before, where you are so excited and then you get it and you slowly have that realization of this isn't good.
Dude,
This isn't
yeah.
what I wanted. And you try to defend it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like the first couple days, your friends are like, I heard it's not that great. And you're like, no,
No, it's really
good."
fun.
Yeah.
No, you just gotta get into it. You gotta keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta get used to
No,
it.
it's got this problem, but it's not that big of a deal. It's really good. Yeah.
I've done that too, but I remember back in the day you did that kind of thing a lot. No, when you really wanted to like something.
With what?
I
Or
can't
think
remember.
of
Stuff
anything.
like that.
Yeah, Epic Mickey was one of them, big for sure. And then one day I finally just realized, like, I can't play this anymore.
That's about what happened to me. I didn't necessarily. I just kept trying to play it. I was like, no,
Yeah.
it'll get good. I'll get used to it.
That's what I thought. I'll get used to it. I wish somebody would take that game, put it on the Switch or PC. Epic Mickey 2, I think, is on PC. I can't remember. But the first one is the one. The second one's cool, but the first one's the one where they had all these ideas and all this charm, and it's just not playable. Somebody take it and fix it and put it out. It would be such a cool game. Yeah.
Now, speaking of games, I noticed you on your computer. You haven't played it yet, but you have Stray.
I do have Stray. I bought Stray. So for Christmas, I ended up getting almost like $200 worth of Steam gift cards.
Dang.
Insane. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I said I want some Steam gift cards, and people took it to heart. So, yeah, I went through, and Stray was one of them I know I want to play, so I got it. It's downloaded, but haven't gotten around to it yet.
Get around to it. It's only a 5-hour game.
Mm.
I literally beat it in 2 days.
Well, the thing is, okay, I can explain that in a minute. Is there anything else you want to say about Stray?
I mean, I want to talk about it a little. I won't spoil, but I'd like to, maybe give you a little insight on what you're getting into.
Dakota is a cat man now, guys. He loves cats.
Dude, I love cats.
When
love
I
my
was
cats.
younger, Dakota's like, I freaking hate cats.
I
dude.
never
I want to
hated
launch cats
cats.
into the sun.
No, what?
No, he did. No, he always said.
There it goes.
Did you see it hit us up?
Oh no!
No. When we were younger, Dakota, like, he always came over and we had cats, and he seemed cool with our cats, but he was just always more of a dog guy for sure. I didn't think Dakota would ever own a cat.
I still am more of a dog guy, but I like my cats.
Yeah.
I think it was more. I hadn't had any cats of my own since I was a kid,
Yeah.
and then because I couldn't have cats because my dad had cats. At his house, but my mom is very, very allergic to cats, so we could never have them growing up. And now that I have my own, and I don't live with my mom anymore, my cats love me.
Yeah.
I would go over to people's houses, and cats, they'd be like sit on the couch, maybe let you pet them, but then they don't want to mess with you.
I mean, that's what's hard to teach to people who've never had their own cats. Is like, cats don't trust you, dude. Like, dogs are just trusting of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So you go over to your friend's house, and the dog comes up, and yeah, it seems great. The cat, just because you go to your friend's house and the cat ignores you, doesn't mean cats are all like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because they don't know you. If you have your own cats,
Yeah.
they don't treat you like that.
But you got the rare exception where some cats are just like run, like our female cat. She came running up to us. Like, she was
Yeah.
feral.
Yeah.
And she came running up to us, and we just happened to have cat food, and then she just stuck around.
I mean, yeah, there are those rare cats. Like our newest kitten, Mikey,
Mm-hmm.
he just loves people. Anytime new people come to the house, he doesn't hide. He just goes up to them like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah, he was
Like-
really like interested to see me when I got here.
Yeah, he just loves playing with people and meeting new people. But that is an exception for cats, for sure. But Stray?
But Stray, yeah. So you don't know anything about that game?
I know you play as an orange cat.
My one disappointment with that game, I really wished they would have let you customize your cat, because that way you can play it. I could have customized it and made it look like my cat Deku, and I could have played the whole game, and it would have made, because it's got a very, very like satisfying, very emotional conclusion. Albeit maybe a tad rushed, because it's, like I said, it's a short game. Like, I let a friend of mine at work borrow it, expecting him to not play it. He came out. I was like, here it is. Gave it to him Friday. He came back Monday and was like, here, beat it. It was really good.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, oh, you beat it? He's
I
like,
mean, I do love maybe it's Rush, I haven't played it, but I do love a contained game, like a contained story.
You want to know what it gave me feelings of? Not near on the
Journey?
Yes.
I knew you were gonna say that because Journey's also short.
Yeah, but it's very contained. It's not. It's deep if you look at it. It's one of those games. If you look at it, it's very very deep. There's a lot going on there, especially when you find out certain things. There's a lot. It's not very. It's not one where you're gonna go around and be finding all kinds of collectibles and stuff like that. There's the odd one here or there, but it's literally a cat parkour game, more or less.
I'm sure there's mods on PC to play as any cat.
Oh, I'm sure you
I
can.
don't know. There probably are.
I just that would have just been my like oh, I wish I could have played as my cat.
Like maybe someday if you get a gaming PC, you could play it again and
Oh,
throw
I'll
in-
definitely play it
throw
again.
in like use a mod and make your own cat. I assume there are. They make mods for everything
Yeah.
on PC.
But yeah, I'll absolutely play that again. It's very very good.
And it's short. You could do it in one day. Do I need to do it in one setting?
I was fine. I did it in about 2.5 days,
Okay.
and I didn't know how close to the end I was on the second day. I was like, I'll take a
Oh.
break, and then when you get to the end, you're like, stuff is going down, and you're ready to just like, okay, here we go, on to the next thing, and then it's just like, no, this is the ending.
Maybe it'll be DLC. There's not?
There's not gonna be DLC for this.
How do you know? They said it?
It's
Oh,
possible, but if
The
you,
cat dies.
No,
Don't say
I
anything.
won't say
I
anything.
don't. Okay. For some reason,
I wouldn't
Okay.
want DLC for this game.
Okay.
It's
Prequel DLC.
maybe because there is a very interesting world. I would like the company to continue making games like this, but with different animals. Stray with a dog. Stray with like a bird, or
Did you play Skatebird?
Skatebird.
Yeah. You
No.
don't know Skatebird?
I think I've heard of it.
It's literally Tony Hawk, but you're a bird.
I think I did hear about that.
Yeah.
Heard it. Isn't
I-
it good? Isn't it supposed to be
I-
good?
I had some issues with it. The whole soundtrack is lo-fi as well. You're playing lo-fi. You're skating around as
All
a
right.
bird.
All right.
My issue with Skatebird was it just felt not comfortable to play.
Okay.
Like Tony Hawk feels good, you know? That's why Tony Hawk did well. Like in the controller, the controls, the way things work. This felt like it needs some updates. Maybe
Something
Skatebird
about
2 would be
how
good.
is it that they perfected skateboarding games back then, and we can't do it now?
Well, there's Skate. I never played Skate. People love it though.
But you know what
But-
I'm saying? Like that was the exception. I mean, the last before that to me good skateboarding game was American Wasteland on PS2.
Was American Wasteland the last? They had American Wasteland 2 also, right?
No, they had
There's
American
Underground.
Skateland. There was Tony Hawk's
Okay.
Underground, Underground 2, Underground 3, and then they did American Wasteland for the PS2 and GameCube.
So Wasteland came after the Underground series.
Mhm. But then they did American Skateland, which was the one for the Game Boy, and it's terrible.
Oh, I don't know. Game Boy.
With the Game Boy Advance. And
Yeah.
but Wasteland was cool to me because you could customize your character. I always made my dude like as tall and buff as you could make him, and you could turn his skin green and give him purple pants.
Yeah.
And I always made my dude look
Dude.
like the Hulk.
I remember playing maybe it was Pro Skater 2 or 3, I don't remember which one. And there's a like cheat code to be Darth Maul. God, that was so sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, those games were so cool.
They were
man.
just doing stuff back then. They don't have that kind of fun with games anymore now.
I mean, people do, but
It's
like
a-
Skatebird felt that energy, but just didn't control well. Like maybe the team's small. I don't know anything about the team, but it had a lot of charm, but it just didn't play well.
Like the only games, and even in like a cheat code sense, the only games that really do those old style cheat codes now are the GTA games.
Yeah,
Like
because of DLC. DLC ruined cheat codes and things like that.
I
'Cause,
guess.
yeah, there was no option for DLC at all. So you want to do these funny things or interesting things, so you put it in as a cheat or like a secret.
Uh-huh.
Now, for most games, cheats or secrets are just, oh, you can buy it. It's DLC.
That's
and it's
so-
not exciting.
it's
It's not
not.
fun.
Because the cheat, it always felt like, because you would, before internet was mainstream, you could go to cheatcodes.com and still can.
That was still fun, though.
Yeah.
I remember finding cheat codes for Ratchet and Clank back in the day online.
I did it for a Godzilla game to unlock all the characters,
It's fun.
it's fun to feel like a god.
Well, the fun thing to me about the cheat codes wasn't, which is what separates it from DLC to me, is that it wasn't even about what I get. What I get is cool, but it was fun. Yeah, I think what you were gonna say, like,
Just kind of breaking the game,
well,
essentially.
like figuring it out. Like,
Yeah.
your friends tell you, or you find it online. But either way, you had to find it some way. Like, is this really gonna work?
Do you remember the cheat code books that they would sell?
Absolutely,
They would
I
sell
do.
whole books. Kids, I'm not gonna be that guy, but
I don't know if we have kids watching this. I think it's probably mostly millennials.
I don't remember if anybody remembers. But the cheat code books that you could buy at like Walmart, and it would have all the
They were-
official cheat codes.
Some of them wouldn't work.
I never
I had
had that.
some where like some didn't work.
I never had the issue. The cheat code book I had was good. Was legit.
Mine was not legit.
I'd go in there.
I had a couple. I get them from yard sales.
I'd go in there and do the GTA Vice
Yeah.
City cheat code to unlock all the weapons, and I'd go up and just snipe people.
I feel like I got the tank code from a book.
The tank,
100%. I remember having that.
dude, the tank was the best.
Me and Chris also. Yeah, we used to just print them off. We'd find cheatcodes.com and we just print them off. We'd have sheets of paper.
I'd
going
just
with the
write
sheet-
them
the
down,
cheats.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I'd lose the cheat.
My favorite. What are your favorite cheats in games? Do you remember?
See now remember, I had an Xbox growing up.
Mm.
I didn't have PS2 or GameCube, or I did have a PS2 at my dad's,
Which
but
is so weird to me because you're like so not Xbox.
I know.
No.
But I think that's because I had an Xbox growing up and then a Wii. Never had anything, so I didn't. My mom.
So was your first exposure to PlayStation like?
I had a PS1.
Me?
No, I had a
Oh,
PS1.
Okay.
As at my dad's and at my mom's.
But I got you on PS2.
No, I had a PS2 at my dad's.
Okay. What
Um,
do you? Okay, you go ahead.
But I wasn't. I lived with my mom. I'd only go to my dad's every other
Right,
weekend or so,
Right.
like that. So it was there for when I was. But my dad didn't know what all the good games were. I didn't know what all the good games were because I wasn't online or watching commercials or whatever. And I was one of the kids where it was like, I want to play the licensed game because I liked the movie. That was because I thought that, the movie was good. Surely the game will be good.
For sure.
Like Robots the game.
For sure.
But that was not the case. So
The Simpsons games were good. Hit and Run.
Hit and Run,
and,
yeah. those are
Road
great.
Rage.
I
as
had
well.
I had those games like that. The Jaws game. Man, that's a game for cheats for me.
Really?
You put in the cheats on the Jaws game, and you can unlock and have all the best moves where you could jump up and do that. You could skip straight to the ending. Yeah, there was a story in the Jaws game.
Can you get like Mecha Jaws?
Nah,
That would have been cool.
but it was still it was fun. The best part about Jaws, that game, was just it's GTA with the shark.
I mean, that's what was good about a lot of games back then. Hit and Run, like we just mentioned.
GTA.
GTA, but Simpsons. And no, I was not even a fan of Simpsons, but I love Hit and Run.
I liked Simpsons enough, but as a kid, but yeah, Hit and Run there was just something special about that game.
That game was. I think it had cheats too. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
Had
but
tons of. You could unlock the rocket car, and all those
Yeah.
cars were weak, dude.
The flying car.
Yes.
Like hover cars.
Yeah, the hover car. It was Simpsons Road Rage,
I loved Road Rage.
which was the predecessor to Hit and Run,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be
Really?
a sequel. So when I loved Road Rage, and when I got
How
Hit
did
and
that
Run.
happen? Uh-huh.
And I didn't know. I was like, oh, cool. It was like I thought it was a sequel. And I put it in, and it's a whole freaking adventure game. Plus, you can drive the cars around. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done.
Well, I mean, Road Rage is just. Wait, what? Which one did you say is an adventure game?
Hit and Run.
Oh, Hit and Run is the sequel to Road Rage.
Yeah, but I meant like, I thought it was going to be another crazy
Oh, like the
taxi.
same.
Yeah, I thought it was
idea.
going to be more
I get it.
maps, more cars.
No, I'm the same. Yeah, we got Hit and Run, and I thought, yeah, the same way. And you put it in, and it was like shocking.
Yeah, like, and you're running around as Homer,
Yeah.
and then you beat that level, and then my favorite character as a kid, which every kid's favorite character was Bart.
Yep.
Then you get to go on to the next level, and you're as Bart now, and then I
Yeah.
never made it past the second level as a kid,
I'm not sure if we did or not.
but
I don't
only
know.
because I had so much fun running around in Bart's level.
Yeah, it's so cool.
He's got the city.
Mhm.
Homer runs around more or less the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and then Bart runs around the city, and then I think you play as Lisa and then Marge.
I wonder who made those games. those were good.
They really were. And then they had the Simpsons game.
The only ones I played were Hit and Run and Road Rage. I've never played another Simpsons game.
I heard Simpsons game was pretty good, but they just didn't care. There's I think a lot of people are really making an outcry for them to do a Hit and Run remaster.
God, they should.
They
did,
really need to. You could add so much to it now.
They did the SpongeBob game, Bikini Bottom,
And then it just got a sequel.
Did it?
Yeah, another game just came out or is about to come out.
A sequel to the remake.
I don't know if it's a sequel, but it's in the same style.
It's the same spiritual successor.
Yeah, and it's still SpongeBob. So
I used to love that game, dude. What is that game? Something Bikini Bottom.
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Battle for
I
Bikini
never
Bottom.
had it. My cousin Mason had it, but that game came out when I was at the age where I was like, I don't want a SpongeBob game anymore. You know.
There was a Game Boy Advance SpongeBob game too that I really loved. Me and Chris would both play. It was one of those games that it was on Game Boy Advance, so it should be able to save.
But you had to use a password. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I had a Fairly Odd Parents game that did that, and I
Yeah.
could never advance because I'd write my password down, then lose the password.
Why did they do that? They had batteries in those. You could
Exactly.
save. But that became almost a cheat code of its own because
Really?
you look up passwords to have a save file where you have different stuff or you're further in the game. So I
never
figured that
thought
out.
to do that.
Yeah, that's what I would do on at least the that SpongeBob game. So I'd put myself in different levels using different passwords. So it became kind of cool.
Now, they also had a version of that Fairly Odd Parents game on the GameCube. So if I find that, I want to try that and see if it's any different.
Speaking of cheat codes, though, I did want to say I don't think you were into it back then, but one of my favorite cheat codes ever was Ratchet and Clank. Up your arsenal, you could get a lightsaber. Instead, you change
Yes.
the range to a lightsaber.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool.
I love it.
Yeah, every time I play Up Your Arsenal, I look up that cheat code first thing.
I
I'm like, I gotta have the lightsaber.
I don't think I have Up Your Arsenal. I have a few of them. I don't have a PS5, dude. I want to play the
Me
new Ratchet
neither.
and Clank. I heard it's so good.
Me too.
Oh.
Put it on PC, Sony. They keep moving stuff to PC. That's why I'm hesitant to buy a PS5
Mhm.
because they move a lot of their games to PC now, and I have a PC that can play games, and it's hooked up to my TV, so I can still enjoy it on the TV. Like, because I was always a console gamer, so I like to do it on the TV and not necessarily on the PC screen. But so I'm just keep waiting. I'm like, come on, move it over, do it already. It's the same thing with Last of Us Part 2. I haven't bought it and played it because I'm like, put it on PC. Well, and part of that's Chris's PS4 down there, so I could play it on there. But yeah, my PS4 was broke, so I didn't play it when it came out.
That's fair. And I just finally beat Last of Us last year.
I remember that. You were right at the end, right?
Literally, because I put it down. It was kind of sentimental actually, because I had traded in my copy of for the PS3 ages ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did not want to restart the game. Like, I did not want to go because I'd already restarted it like a bunch of times with like you or Nate or whatever.
Yeah, we tried to stream it once.
Yeah, and I was like, I just don't want to go through all that again. And I was like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and do it. And I bought it on PS3 because it was like $5 because PS3.
Yeah, but at that point,
Right.
yeah.
So I was just like, all right, I'll get it, and put it in popped in the PS3, and the PS3 remembered where I was.
Well, yeah, it's almost like it has a save
I know, but
file.
it didn't occur. I was like, it remembered
Wait, you
me.
really thought you were?
It had been years. I mean, I'm talking close to a decade at that point since I'd even popped last. So it was just sentimental for me. I was like, it's still my save. I thought it had been deleted also. So I was just real happy about it. And then we were at right about the halfway point when you're with, I don't want to spoil it, the dude and the kid. We were right about the halfway point, and then
I'm waiting for that part in the show.
Oof.
I'm going to see what people think about that.
but then it ends, and then we kept going. Then we got to a part where we were just kind of stuck. We couldn't get past. And then finally, I was like, let's pop this in around Halloween. Let's see if we can finish this. We were literally on the last 2 levels, where you go through the sewer and then you go through the hospital.
Yep. That's cool, though.
And I was like, we were that close.
I'm excited to talk about the show with you when you eventually get to it, but
Mm-hmm.
I only watched it because my mom was interested because the trailers are going. My mom's always watching shows, and I'm like, I'll watch it with you. Like, I love The Last of Us.
Mm.
I thought it was gonna be bad because that's how it normally happens. And then I watched the first episode and was just like, they did it.
Yeah,
They did it.
supposedly they've been telling the cast to play the game.
It is the game. But like any scene that was from the game is that scene almost perfectly. And then they add some more stuff in there to fill it out because it's a game. You got to add a little bit more to fill out the
They're
story.
gonna have to make changes.
I mean, it makes sense to me. It's not a movie. It's a show, like they should always be, because game runtime is so much longer than movie runtime.
Yeah, you can't cram. That's why it's part of the reason The Witcher works as a series.
Yeah.
I mean, Witcher's obviously based on the books, but
Yeah.
but yeah, you wouldn't. I wouldn't want to do a Witcher movie. Or
It is weird to me though that like there's this whole new mainstream audience who's getting into The Last of Us. This game that we played 10 years ago.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
We're the superiors.
It's just interesting. It's like it does feel like a Game of Thrones moment of like the people who all read like Song of
Ice and
Ice and
Fire.
Fire, and then Game of Thrones came out, and they're like, "Oh, now you see."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna be like, "Well, maybe I should go back and play this game."
Oh no! Apparently, because of the first episode, I was watching a video that said Last of Us. All the Last of Us ones are the different games are at the top on Amazon now. New people are buying them, or people who played it before want to play it again, or
I'll
something.
get spoilers.
Yeah, for sure. But I did want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing instead of Stray. There's a
Okay.
reason I'm not playing Stray. So right now, another thing I got for Christmas was Skyward Sword HD. So I'm playing that again, and I always was a Skyward Sword apologist. People hate Skyward Sword.
How is it on the Switch?
I like it a lot. I think it plays really well. It took me a minute to get used to the handheld controls, and sometimes I do take it off and just swing just for the fun of it. Because that's how I played it on Wii. The only option was to swing it around
With the
and-
gyroscope
which
option.
is cool. It actually it matches really well.
Yeah.
It's well done, but I understand why that's annoying. So in this one they mapped it to the left analog stick or the left, yeah. And to move the camera, you have to press R, and then it'll let you move the camera with the left analog. This took me a minute to get used to, but I did pretty quick. And then I actually really like it, and I like having full control of the sword and not just mashing the button.
Mm-hmm.
I like mashing the button. I love Kingdom Hearts, but it is cool. It's different. It feels really different. My problem, and they fixed a lot of the problems that people complain about. There's a lot of things that slow that game down in the original version. One of those was like every time you pick up an item, it explains to you what it is again, even though you picked it up 100 times.
Oh.
You pick up a rupee again, and it's like, that's a rupee worth this much money.
It's a rupee worth
I
one
don't know
rupee.
why they made that decision. Luckily, they got rid of that.
Okay.
My biggest issue, though, is that it's still the sword girl talks to you too much. Fee. She talks to you all the freaking time, and I think they took some of her dialogue out, and it's still too much. Like I'll be going, and I'm like, I'm into this, I'm having fun, and then she pops out like, "Master, blah 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 blah."
Doesn't
blah.
she talk like a robot?
Yeah, she's just. I didn't hate her when I first played it, and I was always like, why do people hate her so much? And now I get it.
Yeah, you
She's
get it.
so annoying.
It's like Navi. Kind of.
Yeah.
So many people defended her, and now everybody realizes, oh, Navi sucks. But I've heard
Fee is
Fee.
worse.
I've heard Fee is way worse.
She comes out all the time. It's so annoying.
You know who the best one still is to this day?
Who?
Midna. She's
Oh, yeah, of
got
course.
the
Oh, yeah.
perfect balance. She comes out always right when you need her to.
Minna is the best. I need to play Twilight Princess again. I've never beaten it.
Sometimes, dude, it's so good. I beat it. Was it last year? 2 years ago.
Put it on the Switch, Nintendo.
It's you got rid of your Wii U. Haha.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't. Haha.
Nintendo, put it on the Switch, or I might have to,
Be
there's
illegal.
Wii U emulators. I'm not saying I'm doing it, but put it on the Wii, put it on the Switch, put it on the Switch. That's all I'm saying.
We put it on the Switch and we won't have any problems.
And
Bang.
Wind Waker and Ocarina and Majora's Mask. Why just Skyward Sword? Why?
Yeah,
is that
where's
the only one?
I can't imagine they're not gonna do like a collection like they did with
It's
Mario.
too late now because Mario's 25th anniversary was 2021. Yeah, 2021. And then Zelda's 25th was 2022, and everyone was like, "Oh, they're gonna do some
I
sort
guess
of a
they
collection."
didn't do anything.
They didn't do anything, nothing.
They really, really didn't.
The other problem with Skyward Sword though is just that it is in Breath of the Wild. It is weird after Breath of the Wild to go back, and you have the stamina gauge again, but doesn't work as well in this game. Like, one of the things I love about Skyward Sword, and I still think it is a great game. I still am an apologist for it. But now when I look at it, I can see it. They had these ideas for Breath of the Wild all the way back in Skyward Sword. You've got the cloth,
Yeah.
fall. You've got the stamina gauge. There's so many things about it that feel like Breath of the Wild, but they just weren't there yet.
What's the Breath of the Wild sequel? What did they name?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, dude.
In May, dude. It's gonna get delayed. I don't trust them.
No, yeah.
But if it does come out in May, that's pretty soon, and I'm pretty excited.
And there's totally not another Switch coming out anytime soon either.
I really don't think there is.
You can't. They gotta be working on something.
They announced. I was watching a video. They were talking about this is normally the time.
I'm also behind on my news.
This is normally the time when they slow down production. Like this time exactly. It would be this year. Slow down production on the Switch. Start ramping up production on what's next. Even if it doesn't come out this year. They have already announced that they're ramping up production on the normal Switch. They're expecting to sell more Switches than ever. I don't know what Nintendo's doing.
I love the Switch, but I need give us something more powerful.
I keep waiting. My Switch's screen is fine, but it has little scratches all over it.
Mhm.
I can still use it. It looks fine, but if I get in the right light, and I'm like, can I just get any sort of replacement for this? I don't want to buy the OLED because I feel like as soon as I do, the Switch 2 will be announced.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I feel like Nintendo knows they hit a gold mine with the Switch. That's why they're keeping it going for so long. People absolutely love it, but the Steam Deck is out now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steam Deck is not going to cut majorly into the Switch immediately because it's kind of more niche, but it is going to.
It's gonna I'm already like that's gonna be my console.
Yes.
When it comes out and is more like when they refine it a little more.
Yeah, Steam Deck 2. Steam Deck is getting the idea out here. Steam Deck 2.
And now that's probably gonna be a couple years.
But all I'm saying is Nintendo need to start thinking about, I hope they're thinking about.
Well, they're getting cocky like they always do.
Yeah, they always do this. The Wii, they got cocky and then they made the Wii U. And whatever you feel about the Wii U, it definitely wasn't the successor it should have been. Yeah.
The Wii U had a lot going on for it.
I liked the Wii U a lot.
I still love my Wii U. I mean, I turn it on very rarely.
I thought the second screen was such a cool idea back then.
I mean the concept, yeah, it's like, oh man, Dad's home and he's wanting to watch the news. Oh, I gotta stop playing my game. No, I don't. Right there.
I mean, not even just that. Like being able to, it turned it into a DS kind of because you got the two screens.
Yeah, and you could do DS games.
Yeah,
dude, I got Mario 64 DS for mine
on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I never played the DS one on a big screen.
I've
played it on the DS.
It's fun and it works. I've heard people say that like, if you play it with an analog stick, it doesn't fix anything. It was made for the D-pad. It's like, and when I've played it, yeah, it's got when you turn a little sharp sometimes, but I mean, it's leagues better playing with an analog stick than playing with a D-pad.
I just don't understand Nintendo. Like when we talk about this, I don't understand how they haven't just done a full remake of Mario 64.
Yeah, well, they kind of did a little homage to it in Odyssey.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But I think the thing is that Mario is Shigeru Miyamoto's baby.
But come on,
I don't think, and if anything, he has always been for moving forward with his stuff. He's never been one to want to look back. That's why, that's almost, I feel like, why the Mario Collection came out, and it was just like, yep, here it is. Just shut up.
I hate to say this, Miyamoto, I wish the best for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's absolutely a legend. And without him, gaming would be so different. Nintendo would probably be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that, but they wouldn't be what they are. No. That's for sure.
He changed everything.
But I think when Miyamoto, I don't want to say dies. When Miyamoto
is out of the picture,
is out of Nintendo, I think Nintendo will make better decisions nowadays. I don't know this because obviously I don't know Miyamoto, but I picture Miyamoto now as that old dude who has a lot of power and doesn't adjust to the new way of things.
Well, he's not in charge. He's not like
he's got a lot of say.
He's like number 4 or 5 up there.
But I mean, this isn't just a Miyamoto problem. This is a Japanese companies in general problem where there's old people who don't understand how things have changed, and I don't know. But it's just weird because they made the Ocarina of Time remake. Admittedly, that was only for the 3DS, but it was
And
quite an
Majora's
update.
Mask.
Yeah, it was quite an update.
Yeah, they looked. I mean, they can do it, it's something where it's. You know what should have been on the 3DS? Mario Sunshine.
Why?
I feel like they could, or maybe Wii U. Sorry, maybe not 3DS. I feel like if you would have had the gamepad on that, you can switch to Flood, and you can move that gamepad all around to aim everywhere you need to aim.
That's another weird thing. We got Pokemon Snap 2, new Pokemon Snap,
and
on the
it's
Switch.
great.
It's fantastic. Why was that not on the Wii U?
That would have been the perfect. Again, moving the Wii U gamepad. They had so much potential with that gamepad that they just didn't utilize.
Yeah.
That it was more like they just put it out and then they're like, oh, what do we do with it? You have to look at the cockpit on Star Fox while you're also looking outside at the
It
same
was just
time.
weird. Like, I understand third parties not knowing what to do with it
Yeah.
because Nintendo didn't lead in any way to show people what to do with it.
Mm-mm.
The only game that I remember right now, at least, where the gamepad really made a difference for me was Wind Waker. I played all of Wind Waker on GameCube and
Mhm.
loved it.
It's good for Twilight Princess as well.
Any game like that, it just worked where it can have my items down there and I have like a map and I have like quick select things. It's really nice, but they didn't really utilize it
Mm-mm.
that much.
Yeah, there's it. The Wii U is a perfect example of what do you want to say? How would you say it? It had a lot of potential, squandered potential.
I totally agree.
I mean, it had at the time one of the best looking games of that generation, Mario Kart 8.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that was to this day. I mean, Switch now, but you go back and play that on the Wii U, it is still a freaking beautiful game.
honestly, Wind Waker remake looks pretty freaking good.
Oh my
too.
gosh, it's and the Twilight Princess looks pretty good, but Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess's colors don't help.
No, they
anything.
fixed the colors.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
I haven't played it on.
Yeah,
Wii U.
it's not near as orange.
Oh, yeah, it was really orange. I remember that.
It's not near as orange on the. I mean, it has its parts, but that's mainly when you're in the Twilight area, where everything is orange.
Right. Yeah, and naming it the Wii U was stupid. Everything
was
about it
dumb.
was stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't know how to. Again, that was what we're classic example we're talking about. Nintendo getting cocky. They're on top right now.
Yeah.
You know, above all of them essentially.
Well, I
in
think
sales.
Nintendo. I mean, and this has been talked about so much, but Nintendo somehow just couldn't see that the Wii sold really well because it was different. People were excited about it. It hit a lot of casual gamers,
Mm-hmm.
grandmas, people like this, because it was different.
It was different. Anybody can get off the couch and swing a Wiimote to go bowling.
And it had some cool games,
Mm-hmm.
some really cool games.
Yeah.
But they couldn't see that the control scheme got old, that people got tired of it, that it.
They saw money.
Yeah,
That's
they
all they were
saw
seeing.
the Wii did great. So let's do another Wii.
I mean, yeah, from a marketing standpoint, it makes sense. Why keep this success going?
But I just feel like they couldn't see that nobody. I feel like by the time the Wii U came out, nobody cared about the motion controls anymore.
Mhm.
And of course, they used the controller, but they still had games where like you could use motion stuff on the Wii U as
Yeah.
well. I don't know. They took the gimmick too far.
They really did. And then they put a bunch of really good games on there, and they've been porting a lot of them to the Switch. But then
Almost all of them have come.
but
But
where's Nintendo Land? You know, where's stuff like that? Where's
I thought we
Miitopia?
were talking about the good ones.
No, Nintendo Land's pretty good.
Where's sorry.
Quit playing
Where's
footsie.
Wind Waker HD?
Yeah, where's that?
That's my problem.
Come on.
Where the F is Wind Waker HD? It exists.
Wind
it's
Waker,
out
Twilight
there.
Princess. We need
Yeah.
those. You know, I don't think we need Ocarina of Time. You know, we've had I don't know.
I don't need Ocarina of Time personally.
I've never beat it. I love what I've played. I think it's overrated.
I completely
It's
agree.
great. It's a great game, but I think it's the most overrated game.
Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 both suffer from the same issue of it was my first Mario, it was my first Zelda. And so that's why people love it so much. I'm totally convinced because Mario 64 was my first 3D Mario.
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time was not my first Zelda.
Yeah,
Majora's Mask was actually.
my first Zelda was Oracle of Seasons.
Oh, That
But
was
I-
my second Zelda.
But I didn't know what I was doing, so I never did anything in it.
I loved that game.
I had no idea what to do.
And then my first real Zelda, like where I really invested heavily, was Wind Waker. But and because of that, Wind Waker is my favorite. I think with Zelda and Mario, it's like your first one is your favorite.
I don't know. My first Mario was the original.
Well, I mean the 3Ds. So
Oh.
my first Mario was the original as well.
Well, I like Mario 64, and I do go back to it the most. But I don't know. I think objectively my favorite of the 3D Marios might be Galaxy. Mainly because I think that one is the most nostalgic for me, because it was high school for me. And I had just gotten the Wii, and just something about I'd never played a game with that kind of, it had a live orchestra.
Yeah.
And that soundtrack, I
crazy.
can turn on I listen to lo-fi remixes of that soundtrack
Me too.
all the time. I mean, there's so many ones that you just
Dude,
hit
I learned
you right
the
in the field.
Gusty Garden Galaxy on the guitar.
Did
it's
you?
So good. It's
Oh.
such a good song. That soundtrack is so good.
Ah.
I'm split between Galaxy and Odyssey.
I love
Right.
Sunshine though. Don't get me wrong.
You
don't like Sunshine anymore?
I played Galaxy on the Super Mario 3D collection,
Mm.
and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna go to Sunshine. Sunshine after Galaxy is just not a good idea.
I could see
Galaxy
that.
controls so much better, so much tighter.
I think, were you playing it on the Switch?
Yeah,
I think the problem with at the very least, I think the problem with Mario 64 and Sunshine is they work best on their home consoles.
my problem with Galaxy, or not Galaxy,
Sunshine.
Sunshine was cheap deaths. I don't feel like I deserve the times I'm dying, and it would make me really frustrated.
They do that a lot.
Galaxy and Odyssey, when I die, I feel like, yeah, I effed that up. I missed that jump. I messed up this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunshine, constantly, I was like just getting frustrated. Like,
Mhm.
why do I keep dying? This is so dumb.
Well, a lot of it's because you have to slow down and aim with your thing a lot too.
Which is not Mario.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's definitely the black sheep of the Mario.
I
games.
still like it. There's worlds there that I love. I love Delfino Plaza.
I would say I like Mario Sunshine. I think I like it better than Mario 64 personally. But objective, because we had this conversation way back on Weekday One Up, and that was back when I was still not as well versed. I was still learning about all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've played all these things and done all this, my opinion is, I think I said Sunshine was my favorite, even though I'd only played like 2 hours of Sunshine.
The first 2 hours of Sunshine are great.
They
I
are.
don't die that much in the first 2 hours.
No, but it's now that I've played through them all again, the one that I've liked the most is, I think, Galaxy.
I mean, Galaxy is great, and I had like a renaissance with Galaxy because my problem with Galaxy was it was locked on the Wii, and I personally just don't like that disconnected controller.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're not using the motion that much, I don't like it disconnected. I just can't get used to it.
See, I was the exact opposite. I actually got used to it pretty easily, and even when I played on the Switch, I actually usually hook it up to the TV and I'll do it.
No way. You
Yeah.
played it like
I
the
still
Wii?
play it like the Wii, yeah,
Wow.
because that's how I played it back then, and and I like to do the waggle.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't like to touch to grab all the bits. That just
Yeah.
because I'm trying to move and do other things, and I
Well,
don't
you can
want
use R.
Huh?
Wait.
R.
Oh, because I was using the Pro controller a lot. So you would
Oh.
use, yeah.
Okay.
I love that game now that I played it with a normal controller.
Okay.
But I always liked it.
Oh yeah.
but
But now,
I'm-
how do you feel about Mario Galaxy 2?
I absolutely loved it when I was younger, even on the Wii. And I'm sure if I got to use Switch controls, it could be my favorite. 'Cause I love Yoshi.
My problem with that one is I loved the story that Galaxy had. I love its setting.
It's cool.
I loved the ideas it set up.
The hub world is
The-
sick.
Oh my gosh, that hub world. And then I feel like, and I loved Rosalina. I thought she was just this like, she was a comforting character. You get back from just this hellish mission, and she'd be like, "Hello, Mario."
She's Bay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But then you learn her little story in the
Mhm.
storybook room.
And it breaks your heart.
Dude, it does,
Yeah.
and it's so sad. And then that music that plays is, they didn't do any of that in Galaxy 2.
But it's
Galaxy 2,
fun.
Galaxy 2, it's fun, but to me it feels like the beginning of the new Super Mario Brother era.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the thing with
It's just
Galaxy,
levels. There's no connection. It's just levels for level's sake.
Galaxy is kind of
But-
Galaxy and Galaxy 2 both are not the same thing that Sunshine, Odyssey, and 64 are, where they're really connected. Like,
Yeah.
everything's connected.
Galaxy is much more than Galaxy 2. Galaxy,
Yeah.
because you're all on the same hub world. Galaxy 2, it's like, here's a map, like in the original
Yeah,
games, and then it just feels like the very beginning of the new Super Mario Brothers era. And then they did too many new Super Mario games. Like,
Yeah, because they did so good. That first new Super Mario Bros. On the DS is
It's good.
still one of my favorite Mario games ever.
oh, it's still great. It holds up.
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
I replayed it recently. God, it's so good. dude.
It's a masterpiece.
Also, the one on the Wii U is so good. The one that got ported to Switch. The one
Mhm.
on the Wii is so good. They're good.
they're good, but there's just too many.
The one that became too many was on the 3DS. New Super Mario Bros. 2.
Mm-hmm.
I still
Coin
like
Rush.
it. People hate it. I like it. It's
I mean,
fun.
I played it. I don't know. I like now, and then there's the Super Mario 3D World and Land. And those are both respectively great games.
Great games.
But again, they just feel like more upgrades of the new Super Mario Brother formula.
And that is the issue where back in the day, you got things like Super Mario World, Super Mario World, which was totally different. Felt like totally different art style, totally different vibe. The music felt totally different. Everything felt like, what is this? This is Mario, but new.
Yeah.
They never make Mario new anymore. Even Odyssey, I love Odyssey, but he just looks like how Mario has. Everything looks like how you'd expect Mario to
The
look.
last time they tried anything new, I think, would have been Sunshine, where they're like,
Yeah,
let's
I
try
agree.
something like new, and then
Paint.
yeah, and people liked it, but it wasn't like people were like, no, less of this, please.
Well, the problem wasn't the style. The problem was that you have to stop moving and
Yeah.
yeah. The style's fine.
Yeah,
But-
and then I think people were just like, no, the point of Mario is to be moving.
You heard the rumors, right? Maybe not.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
What? There's rumors though. I mean, I feel like this has been going on a lot, but apparently they're getting bigger and bigger. That this year, Super Mario Odyssey 2.
That'd be nice.
I really think that's coming because we got no Super Mario Odyssey DLC, which was weird.
We got Super Mario 3D World and then the Bowser Jr.
Oh, Bowser's Fury was sick. Did you play that game?
No.
Hold on. That is one of my favorite 3D Mario games.
Is it
I
really?
think that is up there tying with Galaxy and Odyssey for me. Dude, Bowser's Fury is great. You have to play it.
I want to. I just haven't.
It's worth buying 3D World just for that and never play 3D World. I love 3D World, but
Because we have 3D World on our Wii U. That's how we're playing it.
don't even think about the 3D World. Buy it just for Bowser's Fury.
Okay.
It's like 10 or 12 hours long. It's pretty good size. It's not that short.
Did you ever beat 3D World, by the way? Like 100% every
Mhm.
level? We've had to stop
Why?
because it's just frustrating.
Yeah, and 3D Land as well gets really frustrating. Once you beat the main game and you have like the special worlds, like the secret
That's
worlds,
where I'm at on 3D Land.
it gets frustrating.
I stopped when I beat the main game.
Do you like Land or World better?
I think I like Land better.
Me too. I like Land better.
The levels are a little more unique. Although I do like that one open world level in World where you can run as the cats on like the big open
Yeah.
plain. That's pretty
You
cool.
mean the first level?
That's not the first level.
It's not?
No, it's like a middle of the road.
Okay. I don't remember. Oh, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I was mixing up because the first level is a little open at first. So you
Yeah.
can see like, oh, cool.
And
Dude, you gotta play Bowser's Fury. I'm kind of angry you haven't played it. It's very good.
I've heard it's good. I don't get a whole lot of time to actually dedicate to games.
Like,
anymore.
I can see people making an argument that it's the best 3D Mario game.
Really,
Yeah, it's so good. Okay.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah, you gotta try it, dude.
Speaking of Mario, you looking forward to that Mario movie?
We talked about that before.
I know, but man,
None
they're
of my
still
opinions
not.
have changed on it.
They're still not showing off Chris Pratt's voice.
Maybe they're gonna take it out when it comes out.
When we were testing recording, I went wahoo, and he said, "Is that Chris Pratt?"
I mean, I'm not down on it like some people are. I'm gonna watch it.
Oh
but-
yeah,
You know, I still haven't watched Avatar: Way of the Water yet.
you need to see that.
I just keep forgetting. I'm
I
in now.
invited you to see it with me.
Drew also invited me.
Yeah,
But I was out. I was out with my older brother
Oh,
for his
fair.
birthday when
Fair
he
enough.
invited me.
I invite, and you know what this fool says to me? I said, "Hey, you want to come see it? My whole family's going. You can come with us." I have no interest.
At that time, I wasn't interested
he
because
felt-
you saw it when it first came out, and then now the only reason I'm interested is because everyone keeps saying you gotta watch it. So I'm like, fine, I gotta watch it.
That's kind of how I feel about the new Puss in Boots.
Oh, there's people saying you gotta watch
It's
it.
apparently
I heard it's Attack on Titan.
I don't know.
Version.
I've heard it's just the animation is incredible, and I'm a big animation guy.
I mean, I'm a big Puss in Boots guy. This sounds like a joke. I like Shrek and Puss in Boots.
Well, you looking forward to the Shrek 5 that we're gonna get?
They are?
Yeah, the original
Heck
cast is coming
yes.
back.
Dude, I'm such an apologist. I'm a Shrek 4 apologist. I love it.
You need
I
to
don't
watch
care what
that one
anybody
again.
says.
You need to watch. Problem is you like things. Your thing is you love whatever the newest thing is and the most recent thing you saw.
Not anymore.
But so, like, maybe you still like, say, Last Jedi.
Look, I'm not saying Shrek 4 is the best
No,
one.
hang on. But because it was the new one, that was the one that you were most hyped about, and because that was the most one you saw last, it's the one you're still the most hyped about. Is what I'm getting at.
What was the last Star Wars movie? Last Jedi?
The last Star Wars movie was Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
I like it better than Last Jedi, but
I can't remember.
I
it
saw
that
what
well.
we almost got, and
I don't know why I can't remember it.
that's the one where they're on the salt planet with the red and the white.
I never
Or Rise of
rewatched it.
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. I remember Last
Oh.
Jedi.
Yeah, Rise of Skywalker's okay.
It's literally I can't remember anything. I think if I watched a trailer, it would bring it back.
It's the one. Do you want me to tell you?
No, it's fine. It's fine. The thing about Star Wars is sometimes I want to rewatch them all, but I'm like, that's a lot. It's a time commitment, dude. That's a lot now. At this point,
Well, you just got to set up time. Watch one week, one another. Just set up time.
and I gotta go through Return of, or what is it? No, Clone Wars.
Clone. Oh, the cartoons.
Release me. No, the movie. I like a lot of that movie, but some of the dialogue is God.
I look past the dialogue. It's all about the moments for me.
I mean, yeah, I still like. The last time I saw it, I loved it, but I remember thinking, I can see why people hate this.
Oh yeah.
I still loved it, but I was like, I get it.
That's how I am now that I watch Phantom Menace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm an apologist for Attack of the Clones just because I like so many of the moments from that movie. But Phantom Menace, I finally one day I realized, oh, I get why people hate this movie.
I still don't get why people hate the third one, Revenge of the Sith.
It's
I
got the
mean-
same dialogue issues.
Yeah, you're right. It has bad dialogue.
You're
Definitely.
so beautiful.
It's
Yeah.
only because I'm so in love with you.
Yeah.
No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
Everything about their relationship, I cannot believe. They don't sell it
Mm-mm.
at all.
They're phoning it in really
Yeah,
hard.
they very much don't sell it.
The only romance that has ever been remotely believable in Star Wars is Han and Leia's.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think romance needs to be the focus in Star Wars.
So she kissed her brother, dude.
Yeah, that's weird. But
So I did also want to say there's two other games that I've been playing since Christmas that I want to mention. Well, the first one is Kena, Bridge of Shadow or Bridge of Spirits.
okay,
You know what I'm talking about?
no.
Kena. You got your phone? Can you Google it real quick? Just look up. I want you to see the picture because I think you might have seen it. This is the one that looks like a Pixar, Disney animated game.
Kena. No, I have not seen this at all.
Really? It's like it feels like the first Jack and Dexter kind of, with like newer controls and like it not exactly the same. There's different stuff to it. You have like a bow and arrow and you have a staff and
Okay.
you don't have as much movement options as in Jack and Dexter 1, but it feels like it. It feels like a PS2 game.
It looks interesting.
Yeah, it's like a PS2 game made today.
Okay.
It's super good. I'd highly recommend it. I mean, I don't think it's a 10, but I'd give it a good 8.
Yeah, it's got pretty good reviews on here.
I like it. Yeah. So since you don't know it, we can move on then. The other one that I've been playing that kept me from Stray is Elden Ring. I finally got around to Elden Ring. I know you're probably never going to play it, so I'm not even going to try to convince you. But I just want to say I guess I didn't. I don't know what my expectations were on Elden Ring. You know that I'm a huge Soulsborne
Yeah.
fan. They're like my favorite games. I love those games. But for some reason on Elden Ring, I guess because when it came out, I knew I couldn't play it at that time.
Mm.
I didn't want to play it when I was in Philippines because I had a lot of stuff going on, and with every Souls game, they're the type of game where I'm like, I gotta invest time. I'm gonna want to do this every day, all day, until it's done.
Yeah.
So I wanted to wait till I got home. So I guess I just put it out of my head, forgot about it, and so when I got it, I'm like, all right, let's go. I don't know what to think, Dakota. It's my favorite game ever,
Ever?
ever.
Ever.
More than Kingdom Hearts, more than the other Dark Souls games,
Let's
more than Uncharted,
Beat
Last
the
of
game.
Us.
Beat the game and reflect upon it. Then
I'm telling you,
consider.
dude.
You can't say it's your favorite game ever when you've not beaten it.
No, I have beaten
Oh,
it.
you have. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fair
No,
enough,
I
fair
beat
enough.
it.
All
yeah.
right.
And I want to go again. I didn't want it to end. I was very sad. I'm over 100 hours on it, and I did not feel that time go at all. It's so good. And I know you'll never play it, but I want to recommend it to you again. If you ever see it on sale someday, the only reason this will be the last Souls game I recommend to you, because I just think this one works really well for new players. It's so good at teaching you how to play it because of the more open nature of it, where you can just run past stuff. Like,
Yeah, but then you don't level up.
no, but you can. You can just go and fight other things. Like, there's so many places you can go. I'm sick of open world games. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm tired of it, and that's another reason I wasn't that excited about it, because I'm like, I love the linearity of Dark Souls,
Mm-hmm.
and like that you can circle around and things connect. And I thought if you make it open world, you're just giving into this open world trend. I mean, I loved Breath of the Wild, but that was like an exception, you know? It's a
Mhm.
special case. But this is also an exception.
All right.
Like the way that they do it, it really feels like Breath of the Wild again. I felt those moments of the first time I played Breath of the Wild, but with the Dark Souls twist on it. And it just, the thing that I really appreciate and respect about that game and From Software in general is their willingness to give you so much for just the price of the game. Like,
Okay.
there's so many secrets. There's so many, like, weapons and armor, and it feels like it's endless. I beat the game, but I feel like I could easily put another 200 hours into it, finding and doing things that will still be substantial. There's huge, massive levels that you can just be totally missed. You don't have to play them for the story, but they're massive and they have so much to give, but they didn't lock it behind DLC.
That's pretty nice.
So I'm not even just talking about the quality of Elden Ring, but like the respect for FromSoft for not for giving a complete, full, huge package and not saying like, you got to give us more if you want all of this, you know.
Nah, screw that.
Yeah, I wish more companies would look at like what FromSoft does and do the same thing. And it clearly showed, because they won Game of the Year. So, you know, people agree.
Well, good.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't have anything to say about Elden Ring, but
I don't know. I might give it a shot someday.
yeah, what's your feelings on Souls games at this point? And the last time
I
think
like them. I'm just not good at them.
Yeah, but I think that's why I like Elden Ring, because
But it's still hard. You still have to. I don't
For
feel
sure.
like committing a ton. I just want to play the game. I don't want to feel like a weakling. I just want to play the game and have fun. I don't want
But
to
you
sit there and be
can,
mad.
though. That's why I think Elden Ring is great for you, because of the open world nature. In Dark Souls 3, you tried Dark Souls 3, right?
Yeah.
You hit a wall. If you're not good enough or you didn't grind enough to get enough levels, you're going to hit a wall where, like, I can't go on. Like, I have to do this thing to continue the game. In Elden Ring, you don't. Like, you can hit that wall, you can reach this boss and be like, oh, F this guy, and go anywhere else in the world. And there's so many, it's not just like, oh, here's a side quest to do. There's nothing like that. It's just like, there's so many like vast, deep opportunities to go find where there may be enemies that you can kill. You might go into a spot and get wrecked, and you're like, okay, I don't go there. I go find somewhere else. But it's like you're never gonna hit a wall though. That
Mm.
just doesn't happen. I think the game is way better than any other Souls game ever at teaching you. Like that's what's annoying. It's the joke about Dark Souls. They say, "Oh, you just gotta get good," right?
Mm-hmm.
But Elden Ring teaches you to be good. You don't have to get good. It helps you get good. Is why I think someday you should try it again.
I probably will, but I gotta be choosy about what I commit my time with on games. Like, I have a huge game collection.
For sure.
I got Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Oh, I've been trying
in
to beat that
2020.
since.
and I don't even know if I'm halfway through the game.
What part are you at?
Don't remember.
Oh yeah, it was in 2020.
Well, no, I played a little bit of it last year. I just don't remember where I'm at. I think I'm at a slow part, not
Mhm.
at a very action-heavy part. I think I'm with Aerith right now doing things.
You spent a lot of time with Aerith.
And
Yeah.
I want to play it, and I never beat Final Fantasy 15.
Really?
Yep. I did beat Kingdom Hearts 3 because it took me a year, but I beat it.
I don't know, dude. I'm to this point where it's like if you are playing a game and you get to a point where it's not bringing you back, even if it's a game you
Mm.
like forget it.
Well, my thing is I go through what's the word? I hyper obsess over things.
Right.
So like I'll be like really really into it. Like when I pick up and the mood just has to hit me. At some point, a mood is gonna hit me, and I'm gonna be like, I gotta play Final Fantasy VII, and I'll pick it
Right.
up and I'll get right back into it and play it for 10 hours or so, and be like, okay, satiated, on to the next thing.
I guess that's why I mean, because I feel similarly. Maybe it's the ADHD, because people with ADHD will hyper focus.
Mhm.
That's really normal, and they'll move between things. like,
Happens with
in that way.
Pokemon a few times a year for me. I
Me
go
too.
through spurts where I'm like, okay, I gotta play I gotta play Pokemon.
Me
I have
too.
to. Nothing is gonna fill, and then I'll play Pokemon for like 2 weeks straight, and then I'll stop for like 3 months.
Yeah, I'm exactly.
That's
the
where
same.
I'm at right now. Like I was hyped for the new Pokemon, and I still want to play it. I was playing
They're
3
talking
Pokemon
about
games,
the update in February.
Are
That's
they?
when they're saying it should be.
so that's
Yeah.
might be when I pick it back up.
That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah.
But I was playing 2 or 3 Pokemon games at once essentially.
Mm.
I was playing Heart Gold, and then I was playing Scarlet, and then I was in between replaying Omega Ruby,
Mm.
and so good. So I was just like obsessed with Pokemon. But then I'm in that lull right now where like I'm kind of like, okay,
I felt this, but was like, I don't want to commit myself to Pokemon. I started reading the Pokemon Adventures manga.
Oh yeah,
Great. Yeah, it kind of gave me that feel a little bit.
you mean the one that you gave me?
Yeah. So I'm reading it on my phone. I'm not reading I'm not reading the ones I gave you. I'm reading the black and white one, which I never.
Oh,
owned.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
From this black and white story,
Yeah.
not the original.
No. Yeah, each gen they kind of reboot it. A little
Okay.
bit, but-
What do you think about Ash leaving Pokemon?
Is he? I didn't hear about that.
You hadn't heard about this? Yeah, the new Pokemon series.
Bye, Felicia.
It's not Ash anymore. However, people are speculating that
He'll be back.
that he's going to be in it and he's going to be grown up because it's going to be focusing on a young girl now, and she has a hair barrette that looks like his original C on his hat,
Mm.
and so people are speculating that this might be his daughter.
What's her name? Ashette.
I don't think they've announced her name.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I just don't think about the Pokemon anime anymore. I tried with Pokemon. What they end up calling it? Journey. Is that what they called
Journeys-
it in the U.S.
Yeah, Journeys. Dude, Go sucks.
That's why I had to stop. I was
Dude,
like, this seemed like a great place to jump in.
Yes.
It seemed like a bit of a soft reboot.
and
then-
nobody likes Go.
Because he just catches everything.
I know. He just is like, oh, go Pokeball, and then he catches it. What are you doing? There's rules.
Yeah, I was like, why? Who is writing this that thinks this is fun to watch?
Who has like such a hard on for Go right now?
It was so weird. He could have been a cool character too.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating.
And then his whole thing is Mew is gonna be my first Pokemon.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And then he doesn't catch Mew as his first Pokemon.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Go as a character is just extremely annoying, and yeah, I also a little bit earlier last year tried to get into the X and Y anime. Made it pretty far. Got about 30 episodes in. I say pretty far. It's long. It's like 200 episodes.
Did you play X and Y?
Yeah, I never
Oh.
beat it,
Okay.
but I did play it. But XY anime is good, but the problem is Ash is stupid in that.
Mm.
He's so dumb. You got that little science geek kid who's always building contraptions that always fail. But no matter what, he'll build it and explain it. And the first thing Ash says, science is so amazing. And then the contraption blows up in their faces and then repeat the next episode. And he has to say, science is so amazing every time.
I feel so conflicted about Pokemon because it's like, why can't we just make Pokemon cool? Why can't we do something like seriously make Pokemon adult and cool?
Well,
but
they kind of have tried with different things.
like commit.
It's none of it's the mainstream anime. It's always like side projects or shorts.
But at the same time, I'm like, I can't make this argument because Pokemon's the highest selling franchise ever.
Yeah.
So clearly, what they're doing is working.
Yeah.
So it's a very frustrating thing with Pokemon for me because I'm like, for me personally, I don't want this. I want to change, but they're not making it for me. They're making it for kids.
Yeah.
Pokemon is that thing where they tried it with Black and White. They tried to go up and like follow through with their fan base of Black and White, give us a deep story, and then after that they were like, okay, from now on it's just gonna be for new kids.
And
all
they
the
even
time.
XD on the GameCube.
Yeah, there's this like period, like I think up through Black and White. So all that time they just kept trying to make it a little bit darker, a little bit.
They're trying to have it grow up with its audience.
Yeah, and eventually they were just like, nah. And I think that's because of Black and White. I think that's because Black and White didn't sell well. So they were like, okay, that didn't work.
Which is
So-
weird because it's like a commodity now.
But what's a commodity?
It's like it's wanted.
Oh, Black and White?
Yeah.
Oh, and just like that growing up with the audience? Well, I think the reason this happened is because Nintendo does this stupid stuff. They like shoot themselves in the foot. So Black and White, they made it grow up with the audience, but they also tried to make it somewhat of a reboot. So you had none of the old Pokemon. So it's supposed to grow up with the audience, but at the same time, the audience doesn't have anyone they're used to.
Yeah, there's no one to connect with.
Which was fine for me. I didn't care, but I get why a lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah, because at that time you weren't necessarily like diehard following everything.
Well,
Were you?
I was pretty deep into
Were you?
Pokemon.
Okay,
I mean, I wasn't watching the shows, but like the games, I followed everything.
Okay.
Especially coming off Diamond and Pearl, I was obsessed.
Well, it went Diamond and Pearl, then Heart Gold Soul Silver.
Yeah,
and I remember.
so obsessed with Heart Gold. Soul
Yeah,
Silver.
we all were because
Yeah.
I had that, and you and I were playing that together.
Yeah, I was on Pokemon Ranger as
I had
well.
no idea how to actually play Pokemon back then, so I'm sure I was terrible.
Probably, I don't know.
I
But that
somehow
game,
made it to the Elite Four.
that's just a golden era for me, dude. Like Diamond and Pearl, incredible. Heart Gold Soul Silver, arguably the best Pokemon games ever made. Black and White, I also say arguably the best Pokemon games ever made. For me, those two, I it's hard for me to choose. But that's all like back to back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that actually brings me back. This brings us back to the beginning of everything.
All right.
That's my problem with Dragon Ball Super. Goku's an idiot.
Oh my
like
god.
Ash. I can't stand it.
The thing about that me and my wife, as we were watching through it, I finally had to. I'm sorry, I keep hitting your leg. I finally had to tell her. I said, "Don't watch this show for Goku. Do not watch Super for Goku. Yeah, Goku has awesome moments, like he's got,
And he's the main character, and it's his story, and it should be
But-
for him.
but don't watch it for him. Watch it for Vegeta. Vegeta in this show is so awesome. There in Super, Vegeta is the character that I focus on. He's the character that I'm the most
But then it
invested in.
ends with Goku getting the coolest transformation. And
Yeah, but I know what Vegeta gets.
if they
later.
ever animate
Yeah,
it,
they will. They're
You
going
think
to.
so?
Yeah, they've announced.
they've
that.
announced it?
Yeah.
And it's going to follow the manga.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a whole nother thing.
No, they're working on it.
All right.
They're working on it.
Goku's an idiot, and the animation sucks half the time. The animations, they'll bump it up for some fight scenes.
I didn't have any problems. They were
It's ugly, dude.
in the beginning.
No, I think through the whole thing.
I-
I look
I
at it
didn't-
and they look like ugly.
I didn't
feel
have an
like
issue with
One
it.
Piece looks better, and One Piece is ugly.
Now, do you mean the
sometimes.
designs, or do you mean just in general how they do it? Because I had no issues with it. Especially during the Tournament of Power, I had no issues with the
I
animation.
guess I like the hand drawn Dragon Ball better.
Well, sure, on
Hand-drawn
cell,
look. Yeah.
and it's still hand drawn. It's just on a computer.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be
But
hand drawn on a
it
computer.
really looks like it now. I don't know. I mean, and to be fair, Dragon Ball Z was super inconsistent. Depending on the frame, some characters will be taller than others, and
Oh yeah,
they'll look really weird.
the animation back then it was, I think 10 times more rushed. Because I mean, you look
Yeah.
at drawings of fists. I mean, they're literally just a circle with a line sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
In the background, because there were just some animators like, "Hey, I gotta go."
I don't know. I can't articulate why I don't like the animation of Super. Like I said, there are fight scenes where I think it gets cool and it looks cool, but it just doesn't give me this feeling that I enjoy. I don't know how to explain it, which is weird because it's animated by Toei, who does One Piece, and Toei does. I mean, One Piece has garbage animation too, a lot. But they will really up that budget, especially now that we're in Wano, and just like blow your freaking mind, which I
Mhm.
never got from Super, other than maybe Ultra Instinct. But
I don't know. Again, we just rewatched all the way through it, and I really didn't have any problems. I've seen it in that first 25 episodes during the Frieza and Beerus the beginning. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, you can tell they're rushed. But right around the Goku Black arc, I think, is when they peter off into that. And I think
maybe
it
it's
gets
not
better.
animation. Maybe it's character design.
I don't have a problem with
just-
character. I like the modern designs better than the old ones.
They
I
look
think
weak, bro.
weak.
They look small. I
Well-
don't know how to explain it. They look skinny.
Not without their shirts.
Yeah.
And I don't need him to be roided out looking like Broly. I'd rather him look a little bit more trim.
I don't know. I just
You
think
want him to be all roided out looking like
not
Broly
like Broly, but like
or Jiren?
they looked really intimidating in Dragon Ball Z. When we get into Buu Saga, they were looking crazy.
I don't know. Again, turn him into power, Vegeta. I mean, there were times when me and Eric would be like, "Oh my god, he's so awesome,
What about the Saiyans from the other universe?
dude." We're Kefla, Kale, or sorry, Caulifla, Kale, and Kappa.
Yeah,
I like them a lot.
they look like little babies.
Well, because they're not a warrior society. They're more of a peaceful society. They have warriors, but they're not a warrior society. So it makes sense that they wouldn't. And you see in the Broly movie that not every Saiyan was a big buff dude. The
Right.
one dude even said, "I'm not even a fighter. I've never even been off the planet."
Which is weird though, because they're like a warrior civilization.
Yeah, they do that. I think it's more they all can.
I guess my problem with Dragon, and I'm gonna be fair. I need to rewatch Super. I haven't ever watched it in English, which is a huge issue.
You need, yeah.
That's a
That
huge
will
issue.
change everything. It'll feel way more like Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
for you, again, I know people that prefer the Japanese dub. Fine, enjoy yourself. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, but I just feel like Dragon Ball reached a point where they're just like, it's just fan service now. They're just trying to make it to like, here's some crazy fights. It doesn't really matter what happens. The story doesn't matter. I just feel like I don't like the whole multiple universes thing.
I do. I like.
I liked it at first, but the more I think, this happened to me. I used to defend Super. I used to like it. This change happened to me when I rewatched original Dragon Ball and saw where it started. I was just like, how did we get to Super? It's so dumb now. Like, it's so, compared to what it was. It was this cool little story of this, like, Journey to the West, like, rip-off with Goku, like, just going out to find Dragon Balls on an adventure.
Well, you can look at it more this way. Not look at it, how did we get to this? We go from these humble beginnings of a little boy who was supposed to be a low-class warrior and not really amount to anything, and now he's literally got the powers of a deity.
I guess it's not how. I guess the right question is why. Why did we get to this? Like,
I'm
I
fine
felt
with
like it still was reasonable through Boo,
it.
which a lot of people didn't like Boo, but I like Boo.
Mm.
But I guess the multiple universes and becoming a god, it's like, for
I
me
like
it went
that.
too far. I think I liked GT better because it felt a little more grounded. Like, nobody's a god.
Here's also, a lot of people have a problem with anime and say that they don't like how, especially maybe in like a Bleach,
Mm.
they're like, oh, there's no stakes, everybody's too strong. Well,
That's, yeah.
here's my thing though, rewatching through Dragon Ball Z, I want there to be stakes, but I don't want there to be hopelessness. And there is like hopelessness. How in the heck are we gonna do this? Oh, we just barely won this by the seat of our pants. Every time. I like that these characters have shown, oh, I am strong. Maybe I'm not near strong as Jiren, but Goku is a strong character. He's not weak and helpless against like Jiren. He can hold his own to a point. I like that it shows that he's actually gotten stronger. And when you show these characters and say when Boo comes in and then nobody can even touch him, and then you've done that with Frieza and then Cell and then Boo, and it's like these characters are supposed to be strong, and yet all the fighters they're fighting are a million times stronger than them, and you have to, especially in the Boo saga, go through a 24-hour period where this whole day they have to work to get strong and these hopeless odds, yet they do it, and yeah, that's cool, but at the same time, it's like, they've been working their whole lives. You're telling me they can't put a scratch on these characters? I mean, it just, at a certain point, I'd like to, that's why I like the Moro arc. Like, that happens in the Moro arc. He is impossibly strong to fight. Like, it gets to the point, like in the Boo saga, where you're like, how are they gonna do this? But there are moments when they are able to hold their own from the very beginning. There's no point where it's like, it goes through points where it's like, okay, they're doing it, and then something happens. Okay, now we're screwed. Now we need to regroup and find something. They did that with Bleach a lot too. Bleach is even worse. Bleach is just, there's an impossibility.
Yeah, especially with the new.
Oh my gosh. And I love Bleach. It's one of my favorites. But, I mean, they have that wall.
I do feel like how.
Or
but
ceiling.
I like that.
I like it to an extent. I want there to be a challenge, but I want to see my characters. I don't want to see my heroes be sidelined.
I don't know. I think it's great for the story. I mean, I think that's my issue with Dragon Ball. You just put it perfectly into words for me, is the power scaling. That's it. The power scaling in Super is stupid. Like, it doesn't make sense anymore.
Again, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
And I agree. They just, it's not that it's stupid, it's that they just like gave up on it.
Yeah, that's my problem, is like with Dragon Ball through Z, I felt like they were trying.
And even GT.
And GT, that's why I still like GT. They were trying to make it make sense, even though it was getting out of hand. But in Super, they're like, whatever, dude. They're just gonna fight each other, and it's gonna be cool.
Well, the show now has become about, it used to just be adventure, but now the main theme has become about shattering your own limits and breaking through the ceiling, and that's what the show has become about.
Yeah.
And you can say it started when Goku in Dragon Ball, when he beat King Piccolo.
Yeah, that
when
was the
he shattered
that was
through.
the change. That was the shift in the series.
That was when he shattered through his limits, and it started becoming more Z-like.
It is weird. I mean, I get it, but it is kind of weird that Z starts with the Saiyan saga and not with Piccolo Jr. saga, because it actually would kind of make more sense. That's where I think the series changes.
Yeah. But see, that's me. I like seeing my characters be like in the Broly movie, for instance. In the original Broly movie, which we watched before Ariel, we watched it before the new one because I wanted.
You watched Bio Broly?
What? What's that? What's Bio Broly?
It's God tier.
No. But anyway. So
I do like Broly too, though, the second one.
I haven't watched that one yet. That one I'll watch, but I wanted her to see the first Broly so she could compare, and she likes the new one. But the original Broly. It had that problem of that power scaling thing where it's like nobody can touch this guy. Not one person can even lay a finger on him, and how do they beat him with just one well executed punch? Yeah. Now again, and that's not canon, but I mean it's stuff like that. Now,
when you cool though.
Yeah, but then you go to the new Broly movie, and they don't make it right off the bat impossible to touch him. They are able to beat him, but his whole thing is he just keeps getting stronger.
Yeah,
and to the point to where they can't. They have to resort to the fusion. They have to resort to these things, and that's what I like. And then and even then, when they've resorted to this, the battle is so strong, they literally break dimensions.
I mean, I feel like Super and the new Broly movie, to me, they don't add up. Like the new Broly movie is what I want from Super. I
Mhm.
wish Super was more like that movie, but I don't think it is.
And I think you'll get that when they finally adapt the manga. where
I'll
it's at.
watch it for sure.
I
I mean,
wouldn't-
I'm still a huge Dragon Ball fan. I'll watch whatever new comes out,
Mhm.
but I do hope they go more in the direction of that movie and less of what Super was.
Where I'm at, because Super seemed to focus more on, how would you say this? Super focused a lot on goals. Like Goku Black, we gotta stop Goku Black. Or Beerus, we gotta stop Beerus. Okay, now he's our buddy. Frieza's back. Now we gotta stop Frieza. You know, what's after that? Oh, now we're having a tournament. We're gonna spend a lot of time on a tournament. Okay, that tournament's over. Okay, now we gotta go stop Goku Black. Okay, now we stop Goku Black. Okay, now we gotta train for this tournament, and that's the show. The manga where it takes up, like say the Moro arc, you get backstory. You learn other characters. You meet different people. You learn about the Intergalactic Patrol. You know, it feels more like they have to go to other planets.
That's great. I'm into it.
Yeah, they have to. And Yamcha becomes relevant, not super relevant, but he helps at one point. They bring back like everybody gets a moment. Every character gets a cool moment. And fight. On top of they bring back that Z feeling where they do go to another planet.
That's great. I think that's what I want is the
And even
adventure a little bit.
And when you get to the Garlic Junior, sorry, not Garlic Junior, Granola. When you get to the Granola stuff, it's even more. You go to they go to other planets, and you get backstory, and you see Bardock, and you see him doing these things, and now there's just so many different things.
I mean, I'm
and
excited.
A lot of it's in space.
That's way more exciting. That sounds so much better than the universe stuff. Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, yes, but I do think they're going to build. What I would like them to build up towards is Zeno, because they've said that Destroyer Gods are not allowed to fight because Zeno will just. I want it to get to the point to where Zeno and more maybe the angels just disappear or die.
That would be great.
And then all the gods are like, we have free reign.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
That's what I want, and I think that's what they're going to build towards eventually. And I think, I don't want to say that because I don't want to spoil a little bit of the manga, but I think they're going to build towards there being an all-out war with all the gods.
That would be so much cooler. That would be sick. I guess that's why because I just saw One Piece back here a minute ago. I saw Luffy. One Piece is god tier. Because Luffy was up there while you were explaining how Super was goal-oriented. And everything was like, One Piece is god tier because it's connected.
Yeah.
Everything is so connected. Every little island and little thing that happens, it has a story, but then it makes such huge waves and ripples
Nothing
on
is on
else.
accident. There's
Exactly.
nothing throwaway in One Piece.
100%.
It's, again, we've compared it before. One Piece, I will always compare its world building to Tolkien in Lord of the Rings. There is so much detail in that, in like the tiniest blade of grass.
I don't think you can argue that. I mean, someone can try, but I don't think you can argue that One Piece doesn't have the best world building of any manga.
No, absolutely. There's no stone is left unturned. Even the tiniest little details that you think, oh, that's just a little throwaway thing, they'll bring it back. Like a joke he made about a door because he forgot to draw a door in an early panel.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Oh.
In like one of his early works, there was like a door in a building, and then in the next frame he drew, the door wasn't there or was there. I can't remember. And he made up a little story about how that was the person who put that door in was the famed so and so from Wano that you meet from Wano, and he built that door real quick, and you just didn't see him. And then when you first see Frankie in Wano, that's the dude he's working for.
Yeah.
Is that guy that he mentioned in a throwaway joke in an Ask Oda or whatever they're called, SDS.
SBS.
Yeah, in an SBS, it was just a throwaway joke because he was like, he knew he made a mistake, and he was just being silly about it. He worked that stupid joke into his story. You can't leave anything unturned with this show.
Yeah, it's incredible. And Dragon Ball does not.
Manga story, I should.
Okay, well, we've been talking for a while. I got other stuff I got to do today. I know you do too. So
that got canceled, but that's all right.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I still have other stuff I got to do.
Well, we could go You know what? Let's just keep going. I'm just kidding.
I'm hungry.
Who's that?
That's Air Gear. Her name
Oh, I
is
never watched Air Gear.
Ringo.
Ringo.
Yeah, Air Gear is good. A lot of
A lot of boobies.
yeah. If you read the manga, there's some in the anime too. But
I remember you said your mom walked in while you were watching that one time.
did she?
Yeah, you said you guys were watching it there, and she just happened to walk in when they were all in the shower.
Yeah. It's because the guy who wrote that was a hentai artist before, and then that
Ah.
was his first manga. I think his first that wasn't a hentai, which is incredible though, because the art in that manga is incredibly good. I don't know how you get that good drawing hentai, but who am I to
Somebody
judge?
practiced.
Yeah, I don't know.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I'm ready to wrap it up. You introed us. Do you have any recommendations this week?
Oh, yes. Well, I'll give a few. I recommend Stray. Absolutely recommend Stray. I'll recommend The Boys if you haven't watched The Boys. Very good. And let's see, what else? And if you haven't read any of the original Winnie the Pooh books, go ahead and read them. They're a delightful little romp.
All right. And with that,
Stay nerdy, everybody.